Good morning, John. I'm extremely excited to announce that today, with the hard work of Nerdfighteria, and I might add with some amazing detective work by you, we have tracked down Gussie, Audrey, Horsey, Gowen, Manlove, Brown. We also learned a lot of things about the past, including the fact that there used to be a lot of women named Gussie. Where have all the Gussies gone? So, starting with the marriage record of the two people found on that tombstone, we were able to devise that Gussie used to be Gussie Audrey Horsey. Gussie Horsey, of course, being the worst possible name for a young lady. But interestingly, in her marriage license to Walter Manlove, she was listed as a divorcee. Well, it turns out that her family took on boarders, and one of those boarders was a 28-year-old man named Charles Gowen. Gussie, at that time, was 16 years old. Don't stand so close to Gussie. Through some amazing detective work, we have discovered that Gussie and Charles R. Gowen had a baby daughter named Mary. She was born in 1901 when Gussie was 17 or 18, just after they got married. They divorced soon after the birth of Mary, and Charles kept custody of the girl. Hey, little Gussie, what have you done? This marks her first two name changes during the marriage to Gussie Audrey Gowen, and then after the marriage to Gussie Gowen Horsey. Gussie, perhaps because of her divorce, figured that she was never going to get married, and so she took up a trade. She became a typesetter, something that she did for a long time in her life. But then in 1911, 10 years later, when she was 28 years old, she did find a man. She found Walter Manlove. Now, Gussie is Gussie Gowen Manlove, and then tragedy struck. 4 years after their marriage, Walter died of tuberculosis, resulting in the tombstone that started this whole search. Gussie had, by now, changed her name again to Gussie Audrey Manlove. Then, for 10 years after the death of Walter Manlove, she lived in boarding houses with other single women, working as a typesetter and at one point suing a mattress salesman. Will Gussie be all by herself? During this period, she changed her name again. This time her first name going by Audrey G. Manlove instead of Gussie A. Manlove. It's like she's messing with us! They call me Gussie, say I'm a Horsey, Manlove or Gowen, always the same. That's not my name! But then, in 1927, Gussie married again to a man named James Earl Brown. This marks the final name change of Gussie to Audrey G. Brown. Using all this information that we figured out, John Green was able to find the obituary and the final resting place of Audrey G. Brown, our Gussie. They bought a house together in a nice neighborhood in Indianapolis. They lived in that house the rest of their lives. Their house is now for sale, and you can go on the internet and look at the pictures of the inside of that house, and it is very strange. And if you want, you can buy that house, and you can be a part of this very strange, long, epic story of Gussie Audrey Horsey Gowen Manlove Brown. Gussie Audrey Horsey Gowen Manlove Brown, we found a grave that wasn't yours, and that's down. So we did a lot of research, and we tracked you down. I hope that you don't mind now poking around. Thank you to John and all of the nerd fighters in your pants who worked hard, tirelessly, hours and hours of time to track down all of the fascinating information about this woman's life, proving once again that everything is more complicated than it at first appears. But if you live in Miami, Seattle, or Portland, something isn't complicated. You should come see me play a show. That is right, I have scheduled a Miami show, and it's coming up very soon, on the evening of March 8th. Tuesday. The reason I'm going to be in Miami is somewhat complicated, and I don't have time to discuss it right now, really. But basically, I'm going to be going with water.org to Haiti, and I have an evening in Miami in which I'm not doing anything, so I decided, heck, I should rent a planetarium and play a show. Seriously, I'm playing a show at the Miami Science Museum in their planetarium. I am so geeking out about this. But since it costs some money to rent a planetarium, it does cost money to get into the planetarium to see the show. And there's a link for those of you who are in South Florida to buy tickets to come and see me in Miami. Exciting stuff going on throughout Nerdfighteria. John, I will see you on Monday.